Hello, CFA candidates. In one of these last few briefings that I'm going to send out to you before your exam, I just want to discuss what I think are some important issues. First of all, on exam day, all your training and preparation will kick in. Your body and mind will know exactly what to do, even if at this point you feel that you do not recall everything. First thing I want to highlight is that it's very natural to feel as if you've forgotten some of the stuff you learned earlier on. But not to worry, because the seeds have already been planted. So during the exam, it will come to you. Here's the thing with CFA curriculum, it's massive. So you can't expect to recall everything at once. But during the exam, if you have properly prepared, it will come to you, or you will have a general recollection of the material, and that will help you answer the question. So again, don't worry if you feel that you don't remember everything. That's very natural. Everyone goes through it. Now, nevertheless, I do want to leave you with these last pieces of vital tips. First, in the days leading up to the exam, you should bracket your study time around the hours of your scheduled exam. That's very important. So your body and mind go through peak times during the day. And what you want to do is you want to train your body and mind to be in peak condition during the hours of the CFA exam. So whether your exam is in the morning or afternoon, it makes a difference, right? So what you want to do is bracket your study hours in these last few days, i.e. start a couple of hours before your exam starts and end at least a couple of hours after your exam ends. So that's what I mean by bracketing your study hours during these last few days. And as I said before, your body and mind must be in peak condition during these hours. Makes a huge difference, ladies and gentlemen. This is biology, and you can't go against science. Number two, you should arrive at the test center at least 1 hour early. Now, during that window, you should warm up by attempting a set of practice questions so that you may be able to develop momentum leading into the exam. A lot of candidates say, oh, you know what, during the first 10 minutes of the exam, I was just getting warmed up. You don't get warmed up during the exam, you get warmed up before the exam. And I'll give you an analogy. You know when whether it's soccer players or baseball players or basketball players, whatever sport you're looking at, before the game starts, they're actually mimicking the game. And that's exactly how you got to go into the CFA exam. So how do you prepare for the CFA exam? By mimicking what you're going to be doing during the CFA exam, which is doing a set of practice questions. And the other thing that I find by doing practice questions before the exam is that it calibrates the mind. It puts your mind into question answering mode. So it's very, very, very important that you do a set of practice questions before you go in and do the real questions. My recommended time is 20 minutes. 20 minutes to 30 minutes is all you need to get that mind focused and ready to go for the CFA exam. Number three, if your exam is scheduled in the morning, then all you will have time for is a set of warm-up practice questions. However, if your exam is scheduled in the afternoon, then you must be careful not to burn out during the day. Therefore, simply redo some previously attempted mock exam questions in the morning. Reviewing notes on the day of the exam will not be productive use of your time. At that point, you either know the material or you do not. So I'm talking to two different groups here. There's the people who are writing in the morning and people who are writing in the afternoon. If you're writing in the morning, just do that 20-minute, 30-minute warm-up practice questions. However, if you're writing in the afternoon, you got to take it easy in the morning. So you can't be burnt out before you head into the CFA exam. So if you are writing in the afternoon, I would maybe do a couple of hours of just practice questions, and that's about it. I want to stay fresh so that I can make it throughout the afternoon and evening. At the same time, do not bother reviewing formulas or any notes during the day of the exam. At that point, it's too late. You either know it or you don't. It is more important to do a set of practice questions so that you get the mind calibrated. Note 4. The exam itself is all about time management. Let me repeat that. The exam itself is all about time management. Let me repeat it one more time. The exam itself is all about time management. There's a clock ticking. You do not have the luxury to stop and dwell on a question. So never spend too much time on any one question. If a question gives you a hard time, I have a 3-step simple rule. Guess it. That's if it's a multiple choice. So just guess it. A guess is better than no guess. With a guess, you have a 1/3 chance of getting it correct. You flag that question and then you move on. Then you can come back to the flag questions once you've completed the entire exam. Now, some exam questions are deliberately constructed in order to tie you down. I used to be a professor. I was an MBA professor before I became a CFA prep instructor. And I used to use this trick all the time. I even had a name for them. I called it quicksand, because that's what a quicksand is. It'll sort of tie you down, because I want to see how intelligent you are, not just book smart. I want to see how smart you are on your feet. You can't take the bait. Do not take the bait. So if you see a question that's sort of tying you down, cut all the strings and move on to the next question. And then you come back after you've done all the other questions. What's the other thing that happens from this approach? You keep your momentum going. And that is so important, even in sports. Momentum can shift the game. You can go from a winning streak to a losing streak. At the same time, you could go from a losing streak to winning streak just by changing the momentum. So by using this approach, i.e. always keep moving forward, just keep moving forward. If you get stuck, just guess it and keep moving forward. You get that positive momentum. You feel good. On the other hand, if you get stuck, then you get all the bads, all the Freudian stuff creeping in, like anxiety. You start having self-doubts. And it's over at that point, ladies and gentlemen. It's all over. So just remember that. Just remember, keep moving forward. Note 5. In between the 135-minute sessions, you should take your half-hour break in order to get some nutrition in you. Adrenaline will only take you so far, but you need fuel to make it through the rest of the way. Remember, I told you this is biology, right? You can't fight science, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't care how pumped up you are. I don't care how much adrenaline you got in you. If you run out of gas, you're no good. You are no good. So pace yourself. Take that half hour. Get some food in you. Just a light snack, and this way you'll be ready for the second half. Note 6. Do not let your performance in the first session, whether it's good or bad, influence your game in the second. So you write the second session if it's the only exam of the day. In the past, ladies and gentlemen, I've had candidates walk out from the first half thinking they failed. They were ready to go home. I had to convince them to stay and write the second half. This is back in the day where the CFA exam was administered once a year at a fixed location, and I would be there to greet my candidates during halftime. And I just remember this guy, he's a senior portfolio manager now, but on his L3 exam, he was ready to go home in the first half. And I said, look, just pretend the first half didn't happen, because the passing score is based on your cumulative performance. So I had to convince him to go back in the afternoon. And I got him to do some warm-up questions, and he passed. And like I said, he's got a very successful career right now. Maybe one day I can get him to make a video as an inspirational tool for other candidates. So again, no matter how you performed in the morning half, or the first half, I should say, just put it behind you. It's as if it never happened. So you go in the second half all brand new. At the same time, just very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, if you come out from the morning or the first half and you feel you did great, don't fall in the trap of becoming overconfident. So again, the lesson, go in the second half as if the first half never happened. Number 7, never give up. If you're having a hard time on the exam, so is your competition. So again, this goes back to that candidate I was telling you about. He thought he was doing bad. But the exam, it's everyone's going in that same situation. So you're not the only one. You just got to do a little better than the other guys. And number 8, don't forget these essentials. So your password calculator. And based on the feedback I'm getting from these computer-based exams, earplugs are really important, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a lot of distraction that may be happening in the background. So make sure you have your earplugs with you. And also, like I said before, you really should have some snacks, in between the exam sessions. Thank you, and we'll chat again soon.